All right, y'all. So quick question before we get into the video. Have we figured out yet, are they our enemies or our allies yet? Which one are they? Which one is anonymous yet? Have we figured it out? I don't know whether to be a fan or be like worried and afraid and fearful of what they can do. We already know their capabilities is off the charts, right? But we ain't figured this whole thing out yet. I feel like we're just in limbo right now with Anonymous. You know, I'm strangely drawn to all of their content. I can't help it because some of the things they do is just incredible. Some of the stuff that they've leaked has just been mind-blowing. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue, okay? All right. Yeah, we're going to continue. Sorry. So this next video, man, is the top 10 scary anonymous hacks. Part 2. All right, y'all know there's something wrong with me. I should have started at part 1, but I didn't. I went straight to part 2. So somewhere we'll get part 1. All right, if we haven't already checked it out. So we're gonna get into this video. So if you are new, hit that subscribe button, join the family, and hit that like button for more content. All right, let's check this one out.
Back with more internet hacktivist vigilante antics today. I love to see it. I knew I was gonna get super into this video because I'm so intrigued by Anonymous, and after doing all the research,
see, she is too.
I'm almost starstruck. They're the heroes we need in a time like this, people who fight for justice in ways that aren't violent, they're just simply effective. This list is wild. What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host, Eamon Hassan, and welcome back to another video. Now, before we dive deep into this video, just a reminder to go check out our comedy channel, Top 10 Central, and have a laugh with us. I'm usually just sharing a bunch of disturbing things with you guys, so that's a new side of me that you will love. Either way, these are the top 10 scary anonymous hacks part 2. Starting us off at number 10 is Operation Free Korea. Now, I feel like the list of reasons why North Korea is problematic as hell is very extended. The fact it's basically an authoritarian socialist country, there's a complete lack of freedom, you're not allowed to leave, the sky-high levels of censorship, and who could forget the high levels of poverty, famine, and human rights abuses, which is absolutely ridiculous. In April of 2013, IT webzine BGR published an article detailing how Anonymous started Operation Free Korea. They called for Kim Jong-un to resign, for a free democracy to be followed, for North Korea to abandon its nuclear ambitions, and launch uncensored internet access. They went as far as to say if North Korea didn't agree to their conditions, they were going to launch a cyber war, and they did. Anonymous were not lying. They went and stole 15,000 user passwords and hacked into the Aruman Zokri website and their affiliated Flickr and Twitter pages. Aruman Zokri, and sorry if I'm not saying that right, I know I'm not, it is a state-controlled news website, just for your reference, so you know what I'm talking about. The group posted a Photoshop picture of Kim with a pig snout and a Mickey Mouse drawing on his chest on their Flickr page. The caption read, "Threatening world peace with ICBMs and nuclear weapons / wasting..."
Wait. Why is the Mickey Mouse logo there though? What is that all about? I don't understand that part of it, man. Why y'all putting Mickey there?
The caption read, "Threatening world peace with ICBMs and nuclear weapons / wasting money while his people starve to death." Obviously, the operation didn't yield the results the group was looking for, but I appreciate someone having the balls to actually do something about North Korea. Like, what the hell is that? What is going on? Coming in at number 9 is the Steubenville Case. Back in August of 2012, a 16-year-old girl that went to Steubenville High School was drunk at a party and was later publicly and repeatedly sexually assaulted by her peers. The whole act was then posted on social media. On the night in question, the girl left one party with a group of football players and she had already vomited and was clearly super out of it. They then transported her to another party and then left 10 minutes later. In the backseat of the car, Trent Mays undressed and assaulted her while his friends filmed it. They then took her to the basement of a house and Malik Richmond did the same thing while being photographed. The duo then went back to the party to share the photos they had just taken. Peers then tried to cover up the act and defend them by saying the girl had just passed out in the basement and nobody knows what happened to her. Anonymous got heat on the case that December and thought it was completely unacceptable, like no night second.
This type of stuff, man, that if you have kids, bro, pisses you off. Like, man, are you kidding me, man? That's somebody's daughter, bro. That's somebody's daughter. And y'all had the nerve to do that. And people be like, oh, man, they be trying to have sympathy for them because no, fam. You talk to that parent of that child. of that girl. Talk to that parent and see if they deserve sympathy for what they did to her. Ain't no way, because I know you couldn't get it from me at all if that was my what? Bro.
That December and thought it was completely unacceptable, like no. NightSec, a subsidiary group of Anonymous, demanded an apology from local authorities and school officials who tried protecting the football team. By January, the group had hacked and uncovered videos of the rape as well as the crew that were involved all just joking around. They even got hold of hundreds of texts and emails from the adults involved in the cover-up. The trial resulted in Mays and Richmond getting 2 and 1 years in prison respectively, and the head coach of the football team was also charged with lying to the grand jury, tampering with evidence, and the obstruction of justice. He was only given 90 days in jail.
Who can you Bro, I'm about to throw my chair. Who can you trust these days? See, this is my issue now, man. You send your kids to school, and we're not even talking about just you sending your kids to school. Let's start there. And you think they're protected. It's like a handoff. I'm handing my child to what I think is a responsible group of adults here at a school facility. And y'all have the nerve to want to cover this up? How do you sleep at night? How? Because I know if that was your kid, you wouldn't be wanting nobody to cover that up. You'd be wanting justice at the fullest extent of the law. Imagine how much therapy that poor girl's gonna need. Imagine what she's gotta go through mentally, physically for the rest of her life. Will she be able to have a trustworthy relationship later on in life where she can trust somebody and believe they won't hurt her? Can she be around people anymore and not go into a panic attack or have an anxiety attack? Can she be alone with a dude after that? And y'all wanted to cover this up? Like, people just don't care about you no more, man. What happened to decency? What happened to that? Like, I'm sorry, man, for the rant, man, but some of this stuff has just got to be said and got to be called out, man.
Everyone has since been released, but I think this is shocking. Like, how can you watch this happen to an innocent girl and watch it happen? That's just disgusting. Like, I'm appalled. At number 8, we have Operation Hong Kong.
I didn't think this video was gonna tee me off like that. I thought I was gonna hear some stories about Anonymous, but this one here done sent me over the top with just that story alone. I don't even care how long ago it was, man. Yeah.
That's just disgusting. Like, I'm appalled. At number 8, we have Operation Hong Kong. Back in 2014, there were a series of sit-in street protests in Hong Kong, also referred to as the Umbrella Revolution. The protests were caused due to the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress making a decision regarding reforms to the Hong Kong electoral system. The decision was highly restrictive since it meant the Communist Party would have to pre-screen all the candidates, which meant they would only greenlight people that would not go against the party's interests. The ongoing contention between Hong Kong and China makes that difficult as hell. The protests would peak at 100,000 people at any given time, which made it quite hard to contain. Because of that, the Hong Kong government used police force against the protesters. That led to Anonymous getting involved and posting a video addressing the government of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. They fully condemned the police's use of force against the protesters and fully supported the latter's plight for democracy. They promised to attack all web-based assets of the HK government if any more protesters were harmed or harassed. By October, the group had taken over company websites in Hong Kong, but their government claimed otherwise, saying everything was working perfectly fine and that they were prepared for hackers. But we also know China's not always honest with things that go on, so who's really telling the truth? Filling at number 7 slot is Chris Fawkend. This case was actually one of Anonymous's earliest and hugely publicized wins. Back in 2007, the group were on the tail of many individuals who were pedophiles or had any interest in kids whatsoever. Amongst that storm, they started going after 53-year-old Chris Fawkend. The man was charged with 2 counts of trying to lure children under the age of 14, possessing a dangerous weapon, attempted exposure, and attempted. The global television network credited Anonymous for the arrest since they were the ones that contacted the police after some of their own members were propositioned by Fawkend with him sending nudes. This was the
let me just be the first to give them a round of applause for this. I am now a fan. They're doing stuff like this. I didn't even know they were doing things like this. You know what I mean? Like, no. Give them, I'm a fan. I know we talked about whether or not I was on the fence at the beginning, but stuff like that, protecting kids, man, trying to out some of these heinous crimes from people, man. Yeah. I'm a fan.
After some of their own members were propositioned by Falkland with him sending nudes. This was the first time in history a predator was correctly arrested due to internet vigilantism. Woohoo! Vigilantism! We love it! Now at number 6 is Operation Orlando. Back in June of 2011, the hacktivist group was horrified to find out members of Food Not Bombs were arrested. The vegetarian/vegan collective operate on the belief that governments and corporations are so caught up in other matters that they let hunger persist despite having an abundance of food. Food Not Bombs were feeding the homeless in Lake Yola Park despite the feeding ban enforced in Florida, which led to a lot of their members being arrested. Wow, imagine getting arrested for feeding the homeless. What world we live in. Now in response, Anonymous took down websites like the Florida Chamber of Commerce, Orlando International Airport, and hacked into the Universal Orlando Resort website, filling its webpage with Boycott Orlando and requesting users to do the same. Anonymous announced their attack on their IRC channel and promised to take Orlando-related websites offline every day. They even targeted the re-election website of Buddy Dyer, the mayor of Orlando. One member left their symbolic Guy Fawkes mask outside the mayor's house, which police treated as a threat against him. By July, they also took down the websites of the Roman Catholic Diocese of Orlando as well as the Rotary Club. God damn, never come after Anonymous. Coming in at number 5 is Operation Bart. Bart, aka Bay Area Rapid Transit, not yellow spiky head kid from The Simpsons. Back in July of 2011, 2 Bart police officers shot and killed 47-year-old Charles Hill at Civic Center Station located in San Francisco. Apparently Hill had been carrying a knife and that's why they shot him. A few weeks later, Bart shut down all cell phone services on their network for 3 hours to try and prevent protests against the shooting and to hamper communication between protesters. In response, members of Anonymous hacked into Bart's website and released 102 officers' names, addresses, numbers, and more on their website. They also sent out a mass email bomb to Bart employees and organized a bunch of mass physical protests at the Civic Center Station. At number 4 is Occupy Nigeria. Back in 2012, a socio-political protest movement erupted and it was dubbed Occupy Nigeria. As Africa's largest oil producer, the protest was triggered by the removal of subsidies on petroleum products, a 120% price increase of petrol, poverty, government corruption, and more. As most of the population lives on less than $2 a day, the one benefit of importing so much petrol was it being cheap for citizens. The price went from 65 naira per litre to 141. Protesters involved formed human chain barriers along the highway and shut down petrol stations. The country's main trade unions also went on an indefinite strike and refused to come back to work until the removal of the fuel subsidy was reversed. In solidarity with the movement, Anonymous teamed up with the Niger cyber hacktivists of Nigeria as well as the People's Liberation Front. They promised citizens a relentless and devastating assault upon the web assets of the Nigerian government.
Listen, when gas prices started rising here, I thought that's where we were headed. Some type of protest, bro. It was getting ridiculous, man. Like, if you wasn't working from home, if you were still going to work when them gas prices were soaring and you were driving, like a lot of people drive 15, 20, 30 minutes to work depending on where you live at. In Atlanta, man, you could commute a good ways to work, man. And your wages weren't going up. So that was really, really affecting people. Not just that, but also the price of food. So I thought we were heading to that, man, because listen, if a bunch of people band together and do it the right way, man, we have the control and the leverage. We just have to understand how to come together as one. And that's where we struggle at.
Sends a relentless and devastating assault upon the web assets of the Nigerian government. The group hacked the Nigerian Economic and Financial Crimes Commission website and put a false report of the arrest of people in the oil sector as the homepage instead. We love to see hacktivists. I feel like I want to be one. I feel like maybe if I just talk about them enough, I will be one. Filling at number 3 set are the pro-Taiwan Hags. Now, if you're unaware, China functions on a one China policy and wants the world to believe and view it as such. That view means China controls Taiwan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau, and the PRC refused to have any diplomatic relations with any countries that recognize the three aforementioned places as independent states. Now, the countries have struggled to gain independence from the Chinese government for a very long time due to China being a unitary party socialist state. So in Feb of this year, Anonymous hacked the UN website and created Taiwan's own page, since the country hasn't had a seat at the UN since 1971. The page included the flag of the Republic of China, which is formerly Taiwan. They included a Taiwan independence flag, the Chinese National Party's emblem, which is Taiwan's main political party, the Anonymous logo, and more. They went full out. They then carried out identical hacks on the World Health Organization's page, and also included a bunch of pages that featured anonymous videos of Taiwanese people showing how China had broken so many treaties. Anonymous then went further and hacked multiple Chinese governmental websites and put pictures of the presidents of the Republic of China on them. They claimed they had enough knowledge that they could retake mainland China. They were not screwing around with this one, go you. Now at number 2 is the hashtag Black Lives Matter movement. After the devastating murder of George Floyd in Minneapolis by the hands of armed police officers and the huge public response that followed, Anonymous felt the outrage and turmoil on a deep level. 3 days after his murder, the group made a video announcement about a massive hacking sequence about to come, and they promised to expose the endless list of crimes of the Minneapolis Police Department to the entire world. Soon after the video went viral, the city of Minneapolis went offline, as did the police department's website. Multiple online forums started circulating a list of 800 email addresses and passwords that had been stolen from the police department. And finally, at number 1 is Operation Oro Burres. The Westboro—
Bro, it's like they have no answer for Anonymous. And that's why I be saying in like other videos, bro, like the way we don't have enough people or enough hackers to be able to combat like other ones out there. That's why when they arrest them, they give them jobs, man, because we need hackers, bro. You can see, listen to all this stuff. They have no answer for them at all.
Baptist Church is one that functions on inflammatory hate speech. I kid you not. The church literally hates everyone. They're against people in the LGBTQIA+ community. They despise Catholics, Jews, atheists, Muslims, US soldiers, and politicians. I'm not even sure they like anyone but themselves. The hate group's official website URL is godhates.com, so that should really tell you all you need to know about them. Over the years, the church launched a bunch of protests. For example, in 2004, they did anti-gay picketing. In 96, they protested against Jewish institutions. In 2013, they protested the second inauguration of Obama, claiming he was literally the Antichrist. In Feb of 2011, Anonymous wrote a letter to the church saying, "Cease and desist your protest campaign in the year 2011. Close your public websites. Should you ignore this warning, the propaganda and detestable doctrine that you promote will be eradicated."
And you know, when they reach out to you, they already have everything they need to expose you or do damage to you. You know they already have it. They probably don't contact you until they've dug up enough dirt on you.
Incurred will be irreversible, and neither your institution nor your congregation will ever be able to fully recover. The church responded by calling them a puddle of pimple-faced nerds, and based on the series, we know that that'd be a powerful group of nerds. The group then publicized how they hadn't actually made that threat since their page was editable by anyone, and that was most likely a member of the church wanting to provoke an attack. They did, however, share many tactics to the public on how to attack the church if people wanted to. This led to hacktivist Jester bringing down the church's website. And that is it for today's video, guys. I felt like a news broadcaster through the whole of that video. I hope—
Goodness gracious, bro. But with so much evil in the world, I feel like they're like, I don't know, superheroes in a sense, man. You know what I mean? Even though everything that they possess skill-wise they could use for evil, but the fact that some of the things that they have done and stood behind and stood up for, I mean, I respect. I give them my respect. You know what I mean? Until they do otherwise, till it's to the point where we're like, okay, this is more bad than good. Yeah, I give them my respect, man. Shout outs to Anonymous, fam. Shout outs to them, bro. Like, to that one story, man. I just can't get that out of my brain, man. Love on your kids and protect them at all costs, man. And check on them when they're at school, you know. And that's why I'm a fan of them having cell phones. Contact us, let us know what's going on, because you can't even trust the school system anymore, in my opinion. Y'all get at me in the comment section though and let me know what you think, man, and stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone. Peace.